Like a poem said by a lady in red, you hear the last few words of your life. With a haunting dance, now you're both in a trance. It's time to cast your spell on the night. Abracadabra, 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 abracadabra. Yo, what is up? It is time for a new episode of Anything, Everything, and Nothing at All. With me, your host, Christian Davis. I'm so excited to be here once again with you all. We're going to get into some super fun things today. Of course, that was Abracadabra by Lady Gaga, and it is fire! Fire. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We'll get into that at the last segment today. Thank you all for being here. I know last episode was a little more serious in tone, so thank you for sticking with me. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's a lot about my journey to where I am right now, and it's a good insight for people into my life as I, keep going on this journey of building my career. And I just thought it would be good to share with you all what's going on in my life. Now, today, we're going to jump into some interesting topics. The anything segment of the day is, you guessed it, Groundhog Day. Woo! Yeah! Give it up for the Groundhog Day. Okay. Now, the coffee has not kicked in yet. So, I had a really good day at school today, so I am like on cloud 9, and I'm drinking my coffee right now. And it's gonna hit. And when it hits, you're gonna know. You're gonna be aware, yeah. You're gonna be very aware. Okay. Groundhog Day. Now, here's my main concern with Groundhog Day. I don't really know what it is. I don't understand it. I don't find it funny. It's just weird to me that we all gather around the television and watch this weird culty ceremony about a groundhog, which I don't even know what that is. Is that an actual thing? So we're going to learn a lot today. It's really weird that we as a people put a lot of faith into a groundhog, but we can't put faith into our own government. So here we go. Groundhog Day, history.com. That's where I'm starting. I don't know if that's where we're going to stay. We might veer off into some other websites because this is a .com. Okay, so we're going to stay here for now. If it gets dicey, we will pivot. Okay? If you want to follow along, I'm on history.com. Groundhog Day history and facts. Subtitle, explore Groundhog Day's shadowy history, as well as interesting facts about the custom. Okay. The first official Groundhog Day celebration took place on February 2nd, 1887 in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. The annual ritual has roots in pre-Christian traditions and was brought to the U.S. by German immigrants. Now, pre-Christian traditions. I hope we get into that because that is interesting to me. Of course, the Christians had a part in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania in Groundhog Day. That is weird. I wonder if it's a feast day, and we're about to find out. And I'm excited. This is getting me excited. Now, the beginning of spring and Candlemas. Don't know what Candlemas is? We're about to find out. Falling midway between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. Okay, what is a spring equinox? Hey, what is even that? What is... I literally can't type, you guys. What is spring equinox? Okay. Northern hemisphere, the vernal equinox falls. Okay, that doesn't answer my question at all. Okay, the Earth's axis and its orbit line up so that both hemispheres get an equal amount of sunlight. Okay. Now, what is the horoscope for that? What is the March? What does that mean for horoscopes? Mean for, not that I care. Hey, I just realized I don't care. Aries, okay? So the Aries and the spring equinox are together. Good. Falling between the winter solstice and the spring equinox, February 2nd, is a significant day in several ancient and modern traditions. The Celts, for instance, celebrated as Imbolc, a pagan festival marking the beginning of spring. I'm getting Igor Stravinsky, Rite of String, really? Wow, that's so embarrassing. Rite of Spring, the ballet, Igor Stravinsky, tore up the music history scene for a while. I have a feeling this has something to do with it. We'll figure that out in a minute. As Christianity spread throughout Europe, the timing and themes of Imbolc coincided with Candlemas, a feast commemorating the presentation of Jesus at the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. Okay, that's where we get the Christian from. In certain parts of Europe, Christians believed that a sunny Candlemas meant another 40 days of cold and snow. Okay, interesting. Germans developed their own take on the legend, pronouncing the days sunny only if badgers and other small animals glimpsed upon their own shadows. Now that's a bit of a stretch. The Germans had nothing else better to do but to watch the badgers. Okay. Moving on. The first Groundhog Day in Puxatawny was the brainchild of a local newspaper editor, Clymer Freyes, who sold a group of businessmen and groundhog hunters on the idea. This group was known as the Puxatawny Groundhog Club. The men trekked to a site called Gobbler's Knob. Okay, that's sus. Where the inaugural groundhog became the bearer of bad news when he saw his shadow. Nowadays, the yearly festivities in Puxatawny are presided over by a band of local dignitaries known as the Inner Circle. Hey, yeah, that's a cult. The Inner Circle, are we real? Are we actually real? That's a cult. They wear top hats and conduct the official proceedings in the Pennsylvania Dutch dialect. It gets worse. Not only are they known as the Inner Circle, they wear stupid hats and they speak in Pennsylvania Dutch. That's not even real. And they speak, okay, it says they supposedly speak to the groundhog in groundhogese. Hey, that's not real. Can I get an audio sample of that? Guys, if we get this, audio sample of groundhog ease. Groundhog ease. Okay. Here we go. I hope this is not copyright, but my show isn't big enough.
Now to Nick Smith. He is live in Puxatawny with Groundhog Club Inner Circle Vice President Dan McGinley. Thank you both for being here.
Kelly, and that was the man that you actually heard give us that announcement because he's one of the few who actually speaks Groundhogese.
So,
yeah, it's an actual language that they communicate specifically with Phil every time this year. Dan, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. Happy Groundhog Day.
Happy Groundhog Day to you as well. Talk to me about why today is so special and why so many people year after year.
I just want to hear the language.
No mistake. There are things in the tradition, right? So we have us. In fact, it works the opposite. And it's just funny, Phil sees it, doesn't see it.
I'm going to send it back to you in the studio. I can tell you that I definitely had the most fun aside.
The president speaks Groundhogese. That Groundhogese is being able to speak through the acacia cane that is passed down president to president. What I know of Groundhogese, although I do not speak it because I'm not the president, is that it is a series of winks, nods, clicks, coos. It's a language between president and hog that only they can decipher.
And the way the fur blows. Dan,
It's all
McKinley,
coming together.
thank you so much.
Well, that's not helpful. God. That was so unhelpful. Really? Groundhog ease. I need to hear it. I need it in my life. I need the groundhog ease.
Daybreaker, please place the royal red carpet upon the stump. Moonshine now. To get Phil fired up by chanting, Phil, 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 Phil.
Yeah, we're failing. Hey, we're failing. Don't worry, this is not going to make the final edit. Where? Okay, we're going to cut that. So, turns out there are no audio samples available for Groundhog Ease. But I did notice that people say it's a bunch of clicks and nods and winks and stuff like that. Very culty. Now, back to Gobbler's Knob. The inner circle Pennsylvania Dutch dialect. We got that. Tens of thousands of spectators attend Groundhog Day events in Puxatawny, a borough that's home to some 6,000 people. It was immortalized in the 1993 film Groundhog Day, which was actually shot in Woodstock, Illinois. So they lied. It's not actually the Groundhog Day. Okay? How accurate are the groundhogs? This is the important part. Because if they're wrong, what's the point to me? That's where I'm at. The sunny winter days are indeed associated with colder, drier air. Studies by the National Climatic Data Center and the Canadian Weather Service have yielded a dismal success rate. Hey, the coffee just kicked in. Hey guys, the coffee just kicked in and now I can't speak. Hey, that's cool. The Canadian Weather Service have yielded a dismal success rate of around 50% for Puxatawny Phil. Yeah, that's more than a failing grade. He sucks at this, dude. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? If he's not even right, what's the point? Cults, you know, they just do whatever they want all the time. I wonder if they even pay taxes. Probably not. The inner circle didn't even pay taxes. Does Puxatawny Phil pay taxes? Huh? Moving on. Also known as woodchucks. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I did not know that they were also woodchucks. Because how much wood does a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? The groundhogs belong to a group of large ground squirrels known as marmots. That's gross. They grow up to 25 inches long and can live up to 10 years in captivity. Okay. According to legend, Puxatawny Phil is more than 125 years old, thanks to the magical punch he imbibes every summer. Yeah. Okay. These people need help. They have magical punch. They wear stupid hats. They speak groundhog-ese to an animal, and he's wrong. So that's an issue. Okay. Well, I'm disappointed. I don't know about you guys. I was hoping there was some actual merit to this Groundhog Day. And unfortunately, we have come to the conclusion that it doesn't matter at all. So, now you know about Groundhog Day. And it's a cult. And I cannot wait for the Netflix documentary to come out about the cult of the inner circle. Because that is some messed up ish right there. What is even that? Okay. Now, that's anything. And anything it was. A whole lot of nothing, actually. Isn't it interesting how we as a society allow events to occur that are rooted in lies and deceit? What's another one? Valentine's Day. Yeah, Valentine's Day. Built on lies, deceit, and betrayal. Because here's my opinion. Valentine's Day is at a very crucial part of the year. We're in the dead of winter. It's cold. Everybody's upset. Everybody's mad. Tax season is upon us. I have a feeling Valentine's Day is a calculated holiday. Because what it does is it allows for couples to go out, have an extravagant meal, buy stuff for each other, have a good night, give them an opportunity to be with one another in a very romantic way and really service each other. And I have a feeling it's rooted in some convoluted situations. Why? We're going to find out. We're finding out today. Why is Valentine's Day on February 14th? Okay. A pagan fertility ritual was held in February each year, and the Pope abolished this festival and proclaimed 14th of February St. Valentine's Day. Wait a second. Are you telling me there's a St. Valentine? Wait, everyone stop. Hold the phone. It's always the 14th. St. Valentine. The Catholic Church recognizes at least 3 different saints named Valentine or Valentinus, all of whom were martyred. One legend contends that Valentine was a priest who served during the 3rd century in Rome. When Emperor Claudius II decided that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and families, that's wild, he outlawed marriage for young men. What? Valentine, realizing the injustice of the decree, defied Claudius and continued to perform marriages for young lovers in secret. Whoa! Whoa! That's crazy. When Valentine's actions were discovered, Claudius ordered that he be put to death. Wow. Still others insist that it was St. Valentine of Terni, a bishop who was the true namesake of the holiday. He too was beheaded by Claudius II outside of Rome. Other stories suggest that Valentine may have been killed for attempting to help Christians escape harsh Roman prisons, where they were often beaten and tortured. According to one legend, an imprisoned Valentine actually sent the first Valentine greeting himself after he fell in love with a young girl, possibly his jailer's daughter, who visited him during his confinement. Okay, that's convoluted. Okay. Before his death, it is alleged that he wrote a letter signed "From Your Valentine," an expression that still is in use today. Although the truth behind the Valentine legends is murky, the stories all emphasize his appeal as sympathetic, heroic, and a romantic figure. Wow. That is so interesting. The origin. Some believe Valentine's Day is celebrated in the middle of February to commemorate the anniversary of Valentine's death or burial. Others claim that the Christian church may have decided to place Valentine's feast day in the middle of February in an effort to Christianize the pagan celebration of Lupercalia, which is usually how it goes. Lupercalia was a fertility festival dedicated to Faunus, the Roman god of agriculture, as well as to the Roman founders Romulus and Remus. Oh, wow, this is really interesting, you guys. This priest would sacrifice a goat for fertility and a dog for purification. They would strip the goat's hide into strips, dip them into the sacrificial blood, and take to the streets, gently slapping both women and crop fields with goat hide. Hey, maybe we need to bring that back. Maybe we need to bring that back. That is wild. That is wild. Interesting. Cupid, obviously, Greek god of love. We don't need to go into that. Wow. We're learning all kinds of stuff today, everyone. So that's Groundhog Day and Valentine's Day. Very interesting. Very interesting. In the same vein of love, we're going to everything, a topic of my choosing. And I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about driving. All right? Specifically, my accident that I had, the one time it was an accident, and driving in Korea, and then driving in America, and the differences between there. Now, I'm going to share this story with you in confidence, that you will think it's funny. Maybe you won't think it's funny, but I kind of do. So let me give you the story. I was in college. I was driving a 2007 Nissan Versa, a white one. My parents had gifted it to me after they had driven it for a while. And I had it from the beginning of, or the end of high school to the end of my college career. Basically until I moved to Korea. And I am a pretty good driver. I think I'm a good driver. I've only gotten a couple tickets. We'll get into that as well. But I wanted to start with the wreck that I was in, which I don't even know if I would call it even a wreck, to be honest with you people. I wouldn't call it a wreck. It was an unfortunate circumstance. Okay? Here's what happened. I was driving to... Where was I driving? I was probably just driving... I was driving to work from school. It was in the afternoon. It was around 2 o'clock. And I started work at 3. And so I would usually leave around 2:30 to get to work. Not that it was far away, but I like to be early. And thank God I left early this day. And so I left school, and between my school and my work was a lot of stoplights. That's very normal. I don't know why I said that. The coffee's kicking in. And stop at a stoplight, and I start driving. And I look to my left, and I see a funeral procession coming down. Now, I can sometimes be distracted by shiny things, okay? And so the police siren, or the police lights going off, lots of cars coming my direction. Now, I'm going to preface this with saying that I was unaware that you were supposed to stop for funeral processions. That was not something that I knew. I didn't know that it was a law in Tennessee that you're supposed to do that. And I did not know, I don't, let's look it up actually. Is it a law in Texas? Is it a law that you stop for funeral processions in Texas? Okay, I was right. Okay? No specific law in the Texas Transportation Code that requires a motorist to stop their vehicle for a funeral procession. There are 2 state laws that could apply in certain circumstances. I bet it has to do with the president or something. Stupid ads. When approached by an unauthorized emergency vehicle using audible and visual signs, or a police vehicle lawfully using an audible or visual signal, drivers should yield the right of way, immediately drive to a position parallel to and close as possible to the right-hand edge or curb, stop and remain standing. This law could apply to funeral processions if the procession is led by an authorized emergency vehicle with emergency equipment activated. So I was wrong. The law could also apply if an authorized emergency vehicle blocks an intersection or roadway for a funeral procession, which would require all motorists to yield the right of way. So I was wrong. Hey, you know what? I'm a good enough person to admit when I was wrong, and I was wrong. I should have known to stop, but alas, I did not. Funeral procession's coming. I'm watching the procession and driving. It's a 2-way street, and they're pretty close to me, and I'm just watching because, I got distracted. And I'm driving, and I'm not driving very fast. I'm maybe driving 20 miles an hour. Maybe, if that. And so I'm driving, and I'm watching them go by. I'm like, oh, how sad. That's tough. And then, boom! Right in the back of this girl. I was like, oh, crap. Awesome. So we pull in to this little parking lot. My bumper, you guys, is scraping the ground. All the way to this street. I'm like, oh, crap. Her car's fine, of course. So we get parked. I get out of the car. My bumper is shattered. I mean, it is shattered. Parts everywhere. I wasn't even going that fast. Like, how did my bumper get destroyed by not even going fast? Her car, not a dent, not a scuff, nothing. My bumper, obliterated. Okay? She is freaking out. She is freaking out. And she's like, oh my God, I got in a wreck. Call my mom, call my dad, and call the insurance, and mama, what's your license number, and what's your this and that. And I'm like, girl, I said, hey, your car is fine, and you're gonna be fine. My bumper is gone. So if we could, hurry this up, I have to get to work. So go ahead and call the police. Go ahead and call the insurance. I don't care what you need to do, but I'm mad. And yeah, it's my fault. I'll take responsibility. It's my fault, but your car's fine. So I don't know what you're over here hemming and hawing about. Because my bumper's gone, bro. She's losing it. Losing it. Poor college kid, probably a freshman or something. Losing her mind. Good Lord. So the police come. I call my friend. He comes over. And I just need somebody to be with me because I'm irate. I'm so upset at this girl because of how she's blowing all this up. I did not hit her that hard. Her car is fine. My bumper's in a million pieces. And I'm going to be late to work. And I don't want to be late to work because I was already late the other day. Okay? Can I have some sympathy? Can I have some sympathy for being distracted for once? So the police come. I don't even remember they wrote me a ticket or something. I don't remember. I was so upset. And I destroyed my car. And, I felt bad because, my parents gave it to me and I was supposed to take care of it. And I called my dad and I was upset. And I told him I got in a wreck. And he was like, oh my gosh, you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. It was not even a big deal, but my bumper's in a million pieces, and I am sorry. And whatever, he's like, I'm just glad you're okay. Handled it honestly, Clay handled it very well. Clay Davis handled it very, very well. And I don't know why that's a surprise, but I was ready to get yelled at, okay? Because everybody was yelling at me that day. The cop was yelling at me, where's your information? Where's your insurance? Where's this? I'm like, I don't know, bro. Okay? Gosh. And she's losing it. I'm like, girl, you're fine, sister. You're fine. Eventually, I tore the rest of my bumper off and left it there. I was so sad. I tore the rest of my bumper off, put it in the trunk of my car, and went to work. So frazzled. And of course, went to work getting cussed out for not having the reservation or doing something that I didn't do, Terrible, terrible day. And then, after all of that, I never got it fixed. Like, I never got a new bumper. And so, from that day forward, everybody knew if I was driving because I did not have a bumper on my car. It's so ghetto. No bumper on the car? Really? So, literally till the day I sold it, it didn't have a bumper. So, that's the story of my one car crash. And I haven't been in any since, thank the Lord. I do pay attention a little bit more. And, I will say that I have gotten pulled over, about 4 times for speeding or, headlight being out, whatever. And I get upset because they never give me a warning. Like, I always get a ticket every single time. Like, what is that about? I'm only going like 5-10 over the speed limit and you're going to give me a ticket for that? Give me a warning. Like, nobody has ever given me a warning. It's always been a ticket every single time. Like, what is that about? I remember one time I was having a really bad day at school and I really just needed a Starbucks. Like, I really needed it really bad. And it was getting late and I had a lot of work to do, a lot of practicing to do. And so I was like, I've got to get a Starbucks now! Right now! Okay? And so I'm like, I'm going to Starbucks. They're about to close. It's almost 9 o'clock and they always close at 9. And it was like 8:45. And I was like, I've got to go. Got to make it. So I'm like, I got to get there. There's this one street. I think it's Inman Street, if my memory serves me correctly. In Cleveland, Tennessee, Inman Street, there's a Starbucks on that street. And I'm driving to Starbucks, and that street in particular is a low speed limit. It's like 30 or 20 or something stupid. And I'm trying to get there. They're literally about to close. I'm like, no, please. So I'm getting there. And I look behind me, lights. Oh, no! No, bro. No, bro, not the lights, bro. And then the siren. Oh, no. So I'm so pissed. I'm like, is this real life? Could I have a worse day? Could I have a worse day in my life? I'm crying immediately sobbing. Lights come on, sobbing. Pull over into the Starbucks parking lot. Cop pulls over and she gets out of the car, comes up to the window, knocks on the window. I roll the window down, just sobbing. And she's like, can I see your driver's license and registration? And I was like, oh, and I cry a lot. I really start breaking down. And she's like, sir, I just need your driver. No remorse. No remorse. I give it to her, crying. She's like, did you know how fast you were going? I'm crying. And I said, you know what? I did. I said, ma'am, I'm going to be really honest with you. I'm well aware at how fast I was going. And I'm well aware that I was driving over the speed limit. And I just want to let you know that I'm an honest person. And all I wanted was to go to Starbucks right now. And now my night is ruined because Starbucks, they just locked the door in my face. And I'm sitting here with you. And I'm upset. I really needed that. And I can't have it. Because now I'm pulled over on a street nobody was on. I was not even going that. I was going maybe 15 over. Okay? I'll be honest. And I'm sorry for, I'm sorry for going over the speed limit. I understand that's a problem. But at the same time, maybe take, some other things into account. And she just looked at me and she said, I'll be right back. I was like, oh. Oh, no. So she goes back to her car. You know how it is. It takes 20 hours for her to write up this stupid ticket. Oh, it takes forever. It's so disgusting and terrible. You would think in this day and age that they would have a better system than what they have. Why does it take so long? Like, what are you looking up? I have no history. I'm 20 years old at that point. Like, what am I, a cartel, person? No! I just told you I'm trying to get to Starbucks. And just give me the ticket. Of course it was like $150. Are you kidding me? I'm a college student. And I even told her, I was like, ma'am, I'm a college student. I'm really struggling right now financially. And I would really appreciate some leniency for this offense. And she did not give me any leniency. Okay? So, yeah, the coffee's hitting. The coffee's hitting. Now, I'm going to talk about driving in Korea a little bit. Not too much. But when I came to Korea, I did not have a car, which I was fine with for a while. The public transportation here is really amazing, but I'm just not, I'm going to be honest. I was used to the lifestyle that I was living, okay? I was used to getting in the car, driving to where I needed to be, and, to me, there's nothing better than driving if you ever just need to get something out or, go on a drive. Like, that's therapeutic to me. And as a single person living alone, I really felt like having a car would be the most beneficial for me. And I did do the first year without a car, and I did fine. It was fine. Taxis are relatively cheap here. And so that was mostly the mode of transportation that I used, just because public transportation always took longer. And if you know me, I'm running late. Okay? I'm running late. So I needed to take a taxi all the time. But, the subway was really good. I still use the subway and the bus, if I'm going out or don't want to drive, if it's close or, stuff like that. Parking lots, like parking is not a huge thing here. Like there's not a ton of public parking like there is in America. It's a very dense city and not a lot of places to park. If you're just going to like dinner or something like that, it's much easier to take public transportation in Korea. But I did buy a car at the beginning of this school year. Really, really cute red Kia i30. And It's not a Kia. It's a Hyundai. Yeah. Hyundai i30. And it's really nice, and I love it so much. And it's so nice just to have a car. I give people rides home from school because we all live in the same apartment complex. And it's been really nice to just have a car. I coach table tennis at my school as well. And so I stay late for that. I stay late for the school concerts. I have a bunch of different events throughout the year that I can drive to and not have to take public transportation. And it's really nice just to have a car. And I'm really glad I could do that. Now, driving here is not easy. Luckily, I had a lot of practice in congested areas when I lived in Dallas. That's where I mostly learned how to drive. And I'm really grateful for that because it taught me how to be aggressive in the road. And if you're not an aggressive driver, Korea is not it for you. Okay? You have got to be so aggressive here. If you're going to change lanes, you've just got to go. And you better hope that they let you. And Korean drivers are very, very aggressive. And if they're getting over, they're getting over. And you better wait. And the public transportation buses are a nightmare to deal with. They're in and out of the lanes. They're stopping every mile to pick people up. And if you're behind them, it's so annoying. And the speed limits, you guys, are so low. It's like 40 kilometers. You know how slow that is? Actually, I don't. 40 kilometers to miles per hour. 24 miles an hour, you guys. That's like terrible. 50 is a little more common maybe. And that's still 30 miles an hour. So like you don't ever get to like just go. Unless you're on the highway and they get up to usually around 80, which is only 50 miles an hour. So not a lot of fast driving happening in Korea. But I mean, it ends up honestly feeling relative once you get used to the feeling of going so slow. When you go the 80 kilometers an hour, you feel like you're really going and you're only going 50. And so when I get back to the States, I'm like, holy crap, we are driving. And yeah, it's just a lot different. The street lights are the same. Signage is the same for the most part. The school zones are a lot. But what is different is that there's not a ton of police cars in the road. Okay, there's not really a ton of police presence to manage traffic issues. So what they do is instead of having people getting pulled over, which they literally, I've never seen anybody pulled over before unless they were in a wreck, they have security cameras at a lot of the stoplights and they scan your kilometers an hour. And if you go over that, they send you a ticket in the mail. Now, there are two sides to this equation, right? On the one hand, it's great to not feel that kind of like dread, because everybody feels it, I think. When you're driving in America and a cop is behind you, you're like, oh crap. Like you get automatically nervous and anxious. And you know, that might be a good thing. It might not be a good thing. I don't know. It makes me nervous. So, but you don't have that here. So anytime a cop gets behind you or whatever, you're like, okay, whatever. They're usually riding a scooter anyway, like a motorized scooter. So I'm like, I ain't scared of you. They also don't really have guns here, so I'm not scared of you. And they don't pull people over. So that's kind of nice, but at the same time, on the other hand, if you go over the speed limit, you're getting a ticket. You are getting that ticket, and it's getting in your mailbox. Now, it is cheaper than normal, okay? Like, I got 1 or 2 or 3, maybe 2, okay? 2? I think I've gotten 2. And one of them was going over the edge of the line where you're supposed to stop, which was a little wild to me. I was not even, like half my car was over the line. I wasn't in the middle of the intersection or anything. But they gave me a ticket for that. That was maybe like $20. And then the speeding ticket that I got, I wasn't going that much over, so it was like 30. Not a lot. So like the monetary side of it, not a lot compared to the United States. They really be getting your money in the States. Now the stoplights in Korea are very long. That's something I'm still getting used to. You can be sitting at a stoplight for a minute and a half. Okay? Oh, it is miserable. You can't turn right if the walking sign is on. Even if there's nobody walking there, you still are not supposed to turn right. Sometimes I do, but don't tell anyone. But yeah, there's a couple different rules like that, but for the most part, it's not too difficult, but there's definitely a learning curve and you just have to go and do it. So yeah, that's driving. That's my everything segment. I'm going to grab my Diet Coke out of the freezer because I need it. So I'm going to do that. Okay. Now, oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Yep. Now, here we go. Nothing at all. This is today's Nothing at All segment is going to be about, you guessed it, the Grammys. Woo! Everyone's favorite. The one award show nobody watches anymore. So, we're going to pull up who won, and we're going to talk about it. There are a couple I have very strong opinions about, all right? And we're going to get into that because it's a little, there's some questionable decisions here. Now, I am aware that a lot of people do not watch the Grammys. I have watched it. The performances were pretty good. Nothing really stood out to me too much. Gonna be honest about that. Okay. Starting off the list, record of the year. Now, I am a Kendrick Lamar fan. I do really, really enjoy Kendrick Lamar's music. The nominees were Now and Then the Beatles. I don't even know what that is. I'm going to be honest about it. Didn't know it existed. Texas Hold'em, Beyonce, yeah, no, not winning the award. And if it did win the award, that would be a big issue, honestly. Espresso, Sabrina Carpenter, great song. Love Sabrina Carpenter. She's a great pop artist. 360, Charlie XCX. Yes, fine. Birds of a Feather, Billie Eilish. That was my pick. I really did enjoy Billie Eilish's new album. And I really like Birds of a Feather. Really, really fits her style. And she's really coming into her own. And I really, really was thinking she was going to win this category. But alas, Kendrick Lamar did win for Not Like Us. And I think it's deserved. It wasn't my pick. I wonder if the fact that it was a diss track maybe played into the role of it winning that award. But you know, I'm a big fan of Kendrick, so I'm glad he won for record of the year. But I did want Billie Eilish to win. Chaperone, Good Luck Babe. I'm okay with Chaperone, not my favorite. Fortnite, Taylor Swift featuring Post Malone. It's a really good song. Definitely not album or record of the year material though. Love Post Malone, love Taylor Swift. Not my favorite song. It's all right. Now, here comes the big one, okay? Album of the year. Now, we're going to get into this one because I have a lot of opinions. Nominees are New Blue Sun, Andre 3000, I personally have not listened to that album. That seemed to be a little bit of a left turn for this category because it didn't seem like a lot of people knew about it. Sound off in the comments if you do, or if you think that I'm crazy for not knowing it. But I seem to stay pretty current. I at least try to. I feel like it's part of my job. Cowboy Carter, Beyonce, fine. Not my favorite album by her by any stretch of the imagination. Lemonade for sure is better than Cowboy Carter. Short and Sweet, Sabrina Carpenter, great album. Really good album for her. Brat, Charlie XCX, fine. It's serviceable. Jesse, Volume 4, Jacob Collier. Really glad to see him get a nomination, honestly. But I knew it wasn't going to win. Hit Me Hard and Soft, Billie Eilish. Of course, my pick. Big Billie Eilish fan. Chaperone and the Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess by Chaperone. Fine. Not my favorite. I knew it wasn't going to win. It's a little bit of a mid album for me personally. Tortured Poets Department, Taylor Swift. I was thinking they were going to give it to her. I'm glad they didn't because it's not one of her best albums by any stretch of the imagination by far. The winner of this award was Beyonce. Very not a fan of that decision. She did not deserve that win. I have a feeling it was retroactive because she should have won for Lemonade and she didn't. I think Hit Me Hard and Soft, Billie Eilish should have won that award. It's a much better produced album than Cowboy Carter, in my opinion. Song of the Year, a bar song, Tipsy. Birds of a Feather, Billie Eilish. Die With a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno. Fortnite, Taylor Swift and Post Malone. Good Luck Babe, Chaperone. Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar. Please, 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 Sabrina Carpenter. Texas Hold'em, Beyonce. My pick for this one would have been Die With a Smile. I felt like that was way more popular than Not Like Us. Of course, happy for Kendrick. You know, he swept this year. Unbelievable. So really happy for him. I was thinking Die With a Smile was going to win, but it didn't. That's fine. Best New Artist, Benson Boone, Sabrina Carpenter, Doechii, Krungongbin, don't know what that is. Ray, Chaperone, Shabuzi, Teddy Swims. Chaperone won this one. I can be here for it. I can be here with it. I would have thought Sabrina Carpenter would have won, but I see that for Chaperone. So that's my thoughts on the Grammys, the big ones at least. Now, Sabrina Carpenter did win it for Espresso for Pop and Dance, electronic music. Should have thought Birds of a Feather would have won, but it's okay. Lady Gaga and Bruno did win for Best Pop Duo. And yeah, so it was a decent Grammys. I honestly think Ariana got slighted a little bit in this season. I feel like her album should have gotten a mention in the best category or best album category. And I'm not even going to, I have to. Best country album, you guys, that was really, really unfortunate. There is no reason that Cowboy Carter should have won that at all. No reason. Really, really unfortunate. She should not have won. She should not have won Most Wanted with Miley Cyrus. Morgan Wallen and Post Malone would have had a better shot, in my opinion, and that's saying something. She ran away with Country Album of the Year, which is unbelievable. She is up against Chris Stapleton's Higher album, which is an unbelievable country album. Unbelievable. It's so amazing. I cannot believe they gave it to her. She already had won Album of the Year, and now she won Country Album of the Year. Are you kidding me? Against Casey Musgraves and Chris Stapleton. What? It makes no sense to me. No sense at all. It makes zero sense. Chris Stapleton should have ran away with that. No question. I would have accepted Casey Musgraves, but Beyonce winning that country album is unreal. It does not make any sense to me. Now, to end the podcast today, I want to give you some songs of the week. Maybe you want to listen to some new songs and my suggestions, or you don't care. But I have picked 3 songs of the week. They are Abracadabra, Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga is back. Pop music is back. I cannot wait for this album to come out. It's going to be so good. I mean, Disease was a decent release, but man, Abracadabra is unbelievable. The production of that song is sick. It is sick. And it makes me really excited to see what she has in store. I've been really enjoying her, seeing, her more classical side, her more jazzy side these past couple of years with Tony Bennett. Really, really eye-opening. Watching, such a talent like her, switch genres for a minute and really just go at it and do really well. Kind of bringing jazz to the forefront of conversations. And I'm excited to see her go back to what she's known for. And Abracadabra is incredible. There's so much I could talk about, but really amazing music video. Those choreography is unbelievable. So give that a listen, give it a watch. It's a great music video. She's known for her high concepts, and man, does she deliver. I mean, goodness. Next one, in honor of Kendrick Lamar's fantastic Super Bowl performance, Squabble Up. One of my favorite songs by him. Squabble Up. Squabble Up. It's so good. Lots of really good lyrics in there. He does a phenomenal job in that song. Just really catchy. And big fan of Kendrick Lamar. Squabble Up's easily in my top 3. And I've been just listening to it all the time. It's so good. And lastly, White Horse by Chris Stapleton off of his new album, Higher. Oh my goodness, it's so good. There's just, there's a lot of people who can sing well, but Chris Stapleton just has that edge, He just has that edge to his voice that is just so impactful. And the way he's able to use the lyrics and the production, and it just sounds so country, but also so relatable. I feel like country is written off a lot by a lot of people, and that's really a shame. And I think Chris Stapleton is a great artist for people that want to, jump into country, because all of his songs are so relatable and so just melodically satisfying for me. And, I was never a big country person, but gosh, he just does it like nobody else. And White Horse is an incredible track off of that unbelievable album he just put out. And it's amazing. So if you haven't listened to that album, go listen to it. If you're going to listen to one song, I would suggest White Horse for me. And, that does, you know what? I want to say one more thing. The halftime performance of Kendrick Lamar, big fan of it. Lots of high concept art going on. And if you don't know about it, do some research. Watch it again. Watch it multiple times. There's a lot of things in there that, you don't pick up on the first time. And if you follow me on Facebook, you saw my opinion on that side of it. And, it's a shame that people write rap off and say I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. Well, look up the lyrics. I don't know what to tell you.